You have another copy of the agenda.
Oh, sorry, I have a copy of the agenda and I have a copy of the bylaws that I meant to hand out. There you go. I apologize, I was up till 1:45 this morning with my daughter.
She's sick?
She's got allergies. At her birthday party, she fell asleep till about 10 o'clock when I was ready to go to bed. We were up till 1:45.
Oh, I'm sorry. She better now?
She seems to be doing all right. The doctor gave her some Claritin and stuff like that, so we'll give it a shot. All right, good evening.
Good evening. So shall we call this meeting to order officially? Or?
Yes, sir.
All right, I move to call the meeting to order.
Second?
All in favor? All right. Unanimous vote. 7:07 or 6:07. All right. So, do we actually approve this agenda or the?
No. Yeah, you approve this agenda in the event, and I do mine in the format of the Board of Selectmen. So if there's any changes to the agenda that are not substantive or anything that would be deleted from the agenda, that's where that would be the time to do that. Adjustments and approval. If anybody has any recommended adjustments, they would make them now, and we approve the agenda.
Before we go any further, can I ask, without Jen, do we even have to vote?
Yes, we
Okay,
certainly
all
do.
right, I just want to make sure.
Is Jen not coming over?
I thought she was.
She was. Well, I think it's real busy down
She-
there.
Yeah.
She's still on time for.
She's on time,
for-
Jen.
Got 15 minutes, right?
All right, so
Any adjustments to the agenda? If not, I ask that you approve it, or make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye?
All right. So minutes. Did you? Oh, these are there.
Approve the minutes. Which you sent out this afternoon for the February meeting.
Somehow yesterday.
Yesterday was in the February meeting?
Yeah, it was the February meeting. It says March, but it was February.
The
March,
minutes said March?
well, okay, this is why I'm a little, the minutes in March and February.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out actually which day they were. I know the last meeting that we, and this is a part of the problem, we really need to elect a new secretary at this point.
Well, it says we were approving the minutes of February.
Yeah, but,
It says March on the document
does.
somewhere.
It does say already, new business.
I hereby certify that the above is true and accurate, that I the,
Oh,
February 12th.
We
So
were-
on the bottom it says the 12th, on the top it says the 13th, so I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
So,
I have copies of February and March's if you'd like to go over them, if you'd like to
let's
table
try.
this. Let's see, this says draft minutes February 12th. There, that says February 12th, that's there.
Because I believe our April meeting is the meeting that we had with Howard, is that correct?
That is true.
Yes.
So there should be another set of minutes,
Yep.
and,
No. So I'm not sure who did that meeting.
Well,
I don't know if anybody did.
Right.
Because we don't have a secretary.
Exactly, and we have to schedule that for the next meeting. I hate doing that to an individual volunteer group. It'd be a lot easier with the camera, because typically with that record, what we can do is do the motion, who voted, who was present, and that's all you need for the record, because we have the video recorded minutes.
Yep.
Well, if you would like, you are correct, this says, the heading on this says March 12th, but at the end it says I certify that they're February 12th. I'll go make copies of both of these, if you will, check them out yourself.
Shall we table this, or? should
We can most certainly table it and do them en masse at the next meeting.
I'd like the motion to table this, and review the minutes, and approve it. when they're-
Yeah, we'd like.
All right, I apologize, I didn't catch the February again.
And
Okay.
I just didn't honestly read any of them, so
We'll just do it.
if you can.
So is that, is the motion on the table,
Yeah, absolutely.
was it approved?
I second it,
Yeah.
so all in favor to table the minutes for next time?
just table the minutes, because there's a mix up on the date.
All right. Again. the status update, I guess, would be the
Happy to take it over if you'd like. Do you want to do it, Todd?
No, I will be more than happy to have you take it over, because I'll ask questions after.
All right, well, task 1 is the focus. Task 4B, which is the one that's currently underway by the Chesapeake Group, is the setting up of focus groups and meetings for Howard's arrival here in 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks. And through some deft management skills, I managed to pass off most of that work to Linda in the South. So, Linda, could you give us an update on what you're doing with the business group, focus group?
Yeah, I'm trying to get together a focus group of primarily Route 1 businesses. And as of this time, I have 4 definites. 4, I'm pretty sure, but I'm just waiting on final answers from. They're waiting for them to call me back. They're people that I'm pretty sure will agree. And 4 standby, because I want to see more of the dynamic of who, before I pick and choose which one of those next ones will be called. I don't want it too heavy this way, too heavy that way, so.
You said you're trying to put a focus group together, business owners?
Business owners or property business owners on Route 1. That's the primary place where Arundel wants to have their business, and I want to know, or I should say I want to know, but we talked about that might be a good focus group for
Yeah.
Howard to talk to.
What day are you,
Tuesday, May 28th,
Okay.
7 o'clock, Arundel Ford Conference Room.
7 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday, May 28th.
That's good, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
and if it's okay, I got my list, I'll be glad to share it, I don't know if we
A
could go through it
question,
all right now.
I noticed downtown, you know, where the market is and Maddie's and all that stuff, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on there. Is either one of those folks going to be in this group?
I I got a call into Mr. Melville, he owns the Arundel Market, I'm waiting for him to call me back. His sister thought that he would be really interested in attending.
And-
I spoke to her.
And the new operation down at Maddie's?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Trini West.
Oh, so the same owner?
No. Well, Melvin, right, is the...
Melville owns the Arundel
Oh,
Market.
the same owner of that, the same owner that used to be the Blue Moon.
Right.
Is opening something.
Oh,
in
she
the
is?
location.
Good
It's
for
not
her.
public information yet, but it's pretty exciting what she's planning to do there. And she is supposed to be open within the next couple of weeks to a month.
I'll be glad to call her.
I'd say it might be a welcome to get her.
And I'll also, if you don't mind, Linda, I frequent Arundel Market for lunch
Yeah.
on Fridays. I can talk to Robbie
Yeah.
and ask him if he would be
Yeah.
willing to do that.
Like I said, I went in there, I talked to his sister, I left a message. He's one of mine, hasn't got back to me, but I think he will do it. So,
If I might just add, that Tuesday, May 27th is the selectmen's meeting as well, so I'm gonna have to handle
Oh.
that.
whoa,
28 or
28th, I'm
27?
sorry, Tuesday, May 28th is the selectmen's meeting because of Memorial Day.
right.
So, not that I was going to, add great depth to that meeting, but I'll be at the selectmen's meeting at that time.
Well, I don't think, we never.
We've never had anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on going because I need to lock up, but I don't know if, I mean, I hope that's okay that I can go. I know that there was some question before about us being at these focus groups, but I would like to.
The
attend.
impression I was left with was that Howard would rather do it on his own with the group, rather than have
Us there.
us there.
Okay, well, I don't need to be there. I mean,
Well, just
my brother is a Route 1 business owner, he's on the list, so he can lock up.
you know, not to in any way go against the flow here, but it might be useful if someone were there as a fly on the wall, just to get a sense of the conversation from the standpoint of people who know the town and know the dynamics and know what's happening, as opposed to a stranger who really can't pick up the inferences and the silences and the body languages and the other things. So
I agree with that.
So just having somebody there to sit in the back of the room and not say a word, not,
Is it Howard that actually? Was it Howard that?
that's
Well,
what
now that you bring that up, I'm not absolutely sure, but I can see, I think we at least ought to check with
Yeah, check.
Howard,
Yeah.
because if it puts a serious stamper on things, nothing like having a little group like this and somebody sitting out by the back to just put a real damper on what you're gonna say. So I don't really agree with having somebody there if it is Howard's wish to do it on his own.
Did have a conversation with Howard about that on his second trip and told him that the reason that I didn't attend the meetings is that I felt that people would be more candid and more frank with him if I wasn't sitting in the room. I just think that, at least for myself, as the administration and the town, people may feel that they're not able to, express their opinions, their
Couldn't agree
concerns
more
with
with
me
that.
in the room.
I would agree, you should not be in the room
Yeah.
because of your role, but certainly someone from the committee who has no power,
But
if you will.
when we went out to dinner that night, you made a comment.
I say it's our study, and I think one should be present in the room.
In my case, I'm not embedded in the community.
Mhm.
I've been asked to pull together a group of people who, some of whom I've not even met in person. I've only communicated by email and, or phone calls. They're not going to be intimidated by me. And there are, for selfish reasons, I'd like to meet them, since I invited them.
Yeah.
And just be able to take in, given the nature of the business I represent, what they have to say. So I feel pretty strongly about wanting to be there.
And I also think that, we've sat through his sessions, we know because he did it for us.
Yeah.
He's very free, he's very loose, he lets people say what they say. Having someone in the room from this group, not participating, simply observing quietly, behind the wall, would I think, do no damage to his effectiveness in getting what he needs. It might give us some information that we could use.
And just to make sure that it's clear, that is at 7 p.m. Tuesday, May 28th, at 1:04.
The Route One business group, yes.
Do you need any assistance at all getting any other members?
No, well, I'm so far so good.
Okay.
I mean, I got a pretty good idea of, I've been, it's catching them. I wanted to do it face to face, you know what I mean? So I stopped by a few places, they weren't there, I left a message to him, got back to me, but I know if I call him, if I stop by again, if I could just, there's only one person that said no, so.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'll talk to Robbie, because I
Yeah.
if I run into him, I'll just ask him, tell him, talk to him, and tell him what's going on, what we want to do, what we let him do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In terms
I
of,
won't call him back then, because he hasn't called me back, I just assumed he was.
do you need any help or support for what I'll call refreshments or anything like
There's
that?
coffee and everything right there.
I know the last time, I think we all felt that we should have sent a follow-up letter, a thank you letter to the people who do show up,
Yeah.
just to say.
Well,
thank
we
you.
just, it was,
And that'd be a-
we haven't, we still got the list.
Oh, I understand, but I was just,
What we do with what we need for, we can draft up give you the same.
Right,
letter.
we'll have a list on this one, we called, we got pretty much on the first one, we guessed a little bit on the second one, but I think we got it, so we should be able to still do that.
Good, that's great.
It's too late to send that.
Not be able to have you village now. You just send me the text, if you want me to draft the text, I can do that, it's not a problem.
Text
Of the letter that'll go out to the people who participate in the group.
And
I'll be-
follow-up.
The follow-up, and be more than happy to mail it for you.
The follow-up, thank you.
The
Yeah,
follow-up,
thank you.
yes.
Yeah, you just draft a form, not a form letter, but a nice letter, you can go the same one you do to everybody, they can frame it, it'll be great.
Perfect.
I'm happy to draft that up if you like, or you can do it if you wish.
If you're volunteering, Sam,
You're volunteering.
I open the floor to you.
Super. So are you all updated on your report? For your list? All right.
Sally,
I have been keeping the list of people that I've contacted and who's confirmed and sort of the whole process in the file on SkyDrive. And my understanding is that the date and time that we settled on for the Cultural and Performing Arts Focus Group was May 29, 9 a.m. in the Recreation Director's office at this school. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I have 10 people who have said they're
Whoa.
great. Who said they're coming.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cross-section that in one case, the person is not literally an Arundel resident, but I think can bring a lot of insight into it. I've invited Juliet Koldrick she's the arts director at River Tree Arts. There are many people I think in Arundel who are so far under the radar that even with sleuthing I couldn't find them. And I think Juliet will help round that out. So the Parks and Rec director is coming. That was our Jen's suggestion. Brandon Gillard, who's very plugged in to a lot of performing artists. Julie Feingold, who is the new part-year resident who wants to open the gallery down.
Gallery.
Adrian Grant at the Arundel Barn Playhouse. Velma Hayes representing the Historical Society. Dana Peck representing his own Maine Heritage Ironworks. Bill Spalding, the owner of Arun Shard Pottery, and his wife, who's an artist, may also come. A representative from Rusty Rocket, and a writer, Ann Gamble, who was recommended by Josh Boswell.
Very nice.
Nice.
Could you tell me the time on what you said it was Wednesday,
It's
May
9
29th?
a.m.
Yeah.
on the 29th.
9 a.m. And where is it?
Here,
Here.
at the rec director's.
If you enter the school at the very far end and ring the doorbell for those meetings, if you could let the people that are coming know just to ring that bell. I'm sure Jen will probably be able to let people in, but that's the way to access it so that you don't have to get a pass and walk through the halls and things like that. So at the very far end of the school, there's an entrance and there's a doorbell that's marked rec department.
Oh, and I had a question about refreshments. So what would be expected and how I should go about arranging that?
I would be more than happy to purchase the refreshments from Winks through the town.
As long as it's coming from Wix, I'm fine with it.
The town doesn't have cash and can't write checks immediately, so if you would allow us to frequent your establishment and pay you when the next warrant comes due, which would be these meetings of the 29th, it would be 2 weeks. If not, I'll get cash and have the town reimburse me.
No, we have an ongoing penalty
With the town? Okay.
for the first 3.
Oh, okay, so then whenever you want to invoice me, feel free.
So does that mean you're actually literally picking them up?
I would be
Or-
more than happy to
or-
do that.
Okay,
I will
that would
pick
be
them up
great.
at her store. Jen, I will bow to your recommendation because you do this more often than I do nowadays.
Okay.
And I will pick them up at 8, what time do you open?
5 a.m.
I won't be with that. I'll pick them up at 8 a.m. on the 29th.
Okay.
I'm reminded of how glad we pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye.
Do we need refreshments for your meeting?
I'm not gonna do too much, honestly. I mean, I'll have something, but there's already coffee, tea there and stuff, and, it's after supper, you know.
Well, the 2 night groups, water was really, I mean, just a
Yeah.
beverage.
Right.
that
They didn't really eat too much of
No,
them.
they
Yeah.
didn't.
After supper.
And I didn't honestly say that we were gonna give them, just that.
Good.
No, not unless any of you have questions.
Do you need any further assistance in anything? as you
I don't
move
think
forward?
so. I mean, my understanding was that the max was about 12.
Yes.
So there are a couple of other sectors I'd like to see more heavily represented, but if I can't get responses, I can't.
What are the sectors that you were,
Well, I'm dance, for
you
example.
did you contact
Oh.
Sharon Lutz?
Nobody suggested Sharon Lutz.
Oh.
I would suggest Sharon Lutz,
Yes.
School of Dance, she's right there on Route 1.
Or she may be the one I contacted who said no. I did look like for dance businesses, and I think actually maybe that was the one.
Okay.
And she had a recital or something.
It's a bad time of year for her.
It is a bad time of year for
It was
her.
a bad time.
Because I started with the Arundel business list.
Thanks to John for putting it on
Yeah,
the
my
website.
dad was there.
What's that, sir?
Didn't you put that on the website? The business list? The Arundel business list?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, you lost me there.
No, sorry. Searchable by any number of ways. Yeah, you can use the same follow-up letter too. Thank you. Leslie.
Oh, yes.
Crazy right now.
Good. John, could you tell us about what your plans are for Howard's meeting with the airport people?
Not really, I made an appointment with Tom Bryant, the airport manager, and I notified Howard, and I assumed that Howard would want to do it one-on-one with Tom. They will be meeting in the office at the airport at 10 o'clock on the 28th, 10 a.m. I didn't try to make any plans for the content of that meeting, or leave that to Howard's reasons.
I would just like to echo what I've been emailing about, is that I've had a very difficult time contacting and having any discussions with the administration of the city of Bedford. I may see the manager tomorrow morning at coffee, I may not, so I'm still trying to, you've got the, I asked for the, no, John Bouvier, the city manager, and I asked for a copy of that master plan a month and a half ago.
I have that, yes.
I appreciate that.
So I don't really have anything to add other than what I sent everybody in those, a couple of reports that I sent out.
Could you briefly go over what you sent? Because honestly, I've been chucking all my emails into a folder. I've been so busy, so.
At least sent one for 138 pages long.
You're right camera here, John.
That's just what I was gonna say. I would object to going over them individually.
What, was it seriously 128, what? 128?
Oh, no, there was just the impact of airports in Maine, it was 138 pages, and I
Oh.
read it out of there.
Yeah, it was, that was a long report. It was really only one section of it that concerned Bedford, but you have to dig down a bit, to get to it. Basically, what that was, it was a report on the economic effects of airports in Maine.
Okay.
And what it stated was, the report was done back in 2006. The estimate was that the airport had contributed something like 3.6 million to the local area economy back in 2006.
And for every dollar, I remember reading, for every dollar, I believe it was $2.54. That's every dollar spent on the airport, $2.54 is spent in the community by users of the airport. That was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's a great ratio.
Good.
My main concern in trying to do anything with the airport is, I feel that it could have a significant effect on the local economy, but the history of the place being what it is, I'd like to get everybody into a frame of mind where we don't count on anything really ever happening there. I don't want to go into a lot of details other than that, but the history of the place is dismal, and I don't see much sign of changing.
Before everyone got here, I'll just echo what John said. I grew up in Bedford, so I'm very familiar with the strained relationship between the airport users, and the city administration and the council. So it won't get off the ground very quickly, I believe.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Any other discussions on Howard's visit, on Howard's, well, there is one further thing, actually, number 2 here on the agenda. And I think, Todd, this has been in your hands, the town survey, which you understand has been a resounding success.
Well, can we go back to one? I mean, is all the other time slots and everything all set with him? I mean, do we have him, I mean, we did those 2 focus groups in the airport visit. What else is he gonna be doing while he's here?
I'd like to suggest we talk about that at number 3, which is discuss Howard's
Sorry.
upcoming trip.
That would've been-
Which is where we're gonna try to put it.
Hey,
Oh, my
God.
goodness.
All right, if we want to jump to the town survey, as of this morning, Howard communicated with me that there were 249 responses to the survey. I sent another bulk email to the community that I have email addresses for, once again asking them if they know of any neighbors or friends that don't have internet access to stop by town hall. I dropped 75 hard copies of the survey at the polls yesterday. Turnout was 169. I haven't counted the stack, but I believe that there were probably another 10 or 20 that were picked up. I currently have about a half a dozen hard copies that are in a folder. Tomorrow, if I don't receive any further responses from voting, I'm going to ship those off to Howard, so he doesn't have to wait till he gets here to input that data. But the conversation I had with him, he felt that the information they were gathering was a representative sample of what he, not what he expected, but of a typical survey that he does in one of these processes. So he had recommended that we close it down after Memorial Weekend. So I've been telling everybody that I see, asking them to please go online and fill that survey out. And I will send a few more email notifications to people asking them to please go online and take the time to fill that out. So 249 was the total this morning, and he was fairly comfortable with the accuracy of the data he was giving. So
Can we fill that out?
You most certainly can.
Okay.
I would ask that you please do.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I've been kind of pushing it as residents, people who live in Arundel, people who work in Arundel, and people who travel through the town of Arundel. I don't want to just pigeonhole it to only Arundel residents, so I've been telling the employees to fill them out. And like I said, anybody that stops in the town hall from out there, I'll ask them to please go online and hit that survey. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more response on that.
That's actually a very extraordinary response rate. I think it's about 8 to 10% of the adults in town, and that's,
So you think that's
Oh,
good?
yeah.
I think it's,
statistically, it's a valid number.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'd like to see 800, but.
I think that's the number Howard threw out there was 700 or 800, but obviously.
So, I haven't been pushing it as something like the people who work there, I mean,
Your employees are more than welcome, all of the employees of.
okay, I thought it was just
Arundel
residents,
Warriors.
so that's good to know all.
If you could spell Arundel, you could
Yes.
spell it out.
For all the museum employees, people you, no, I got that one, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't want to
No, but the employees where you work, I mean, he's looking for the surrounding areas, so, Kennebunk Post employees and their spouses and their friends and relatives. Anybody that has anything to do with the town of Arundel is pretty much how Howard put it to me. If you've never been here, you've never had anything to do with in Arundel, then they don't want you to fill it out, but just so you can,
people at the work.
that'd be great.
So can we count on the reporter filling out a copy?
All right.
I actually thought about it today, I just didn't.
Good.
Right on the homepage,
You're on the camera now, so we got you.
but it is completely confidential.
Please,
We'll
and
know who
anybody you
are.
know, too. Good, that's great. Howard's upcoming trip. There is some, as Linda said, there's some holes here. One thing I'd like to suggest we plug into one of those holes is a review with Howard of the project schedule. Not only what he thinks he now can attain so that we can reach completion in August, but what we have to do to support him in that.
Certainly.
And you have this document, I think it's on, everybody's got this thing, which was the best guess at what the schedule was when we started making one like this. It needs to be reviewed, updated, filled in, and our duties need to be assigned or enumerated by Howard.
What day does he actually come in?
It comes in on Monday, which is Memorial Day.
He vanishes for a day, I think. Pretty much.
He leaves Wednesday at noon, I believe.
I don't know.
Are we to meet with him at all while he's here?
Well, that's the conversation that Sam and I had. It would be nice if he could meet with us. I don't think that we will be able to do it after the arts and cultural, though, Sam, because we might be pressed for time there. But if people are available, and I know your schedules are pretty hectic, if anybody would be available on Tuesday for a debriefing, and then we could disseminate that to the group, you know, get all the information out there that we can, that we can glean off the power at that meeting. I would recommend maybe Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday midday after.
So that's gonna be before he does any of the focus groups, but.
That's the problem, yeah.
But it could have been Tuesday afternoon, you know, in between the airport meeting in the morning and the business group in the evening. You know, if you're doing events, anybody got any time Tuesday afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
I was gonna say, can we do it at lunch or something maybe?
We could do that at lunch.
Maybe we can do like.
Do a bag lunch, I mean, do it in someplace like this, not this.
That's what I'm saying, like we could take in a pizza or something and sit down and talk a little bit.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
It has to be, it should be
Scheduled.
focused on this, because we really need to get this done sooner.
I'm just saying, I'd be more likely to take a break from work if I can actually eat at the same time.
Well, sure, I wasn't in any way objecting.
And I don't wanna be the only one eating, you know what I'm saying? So,
Pizza.
Well, we want to kill two birds with one stone, we're all busy. We're taking
Yeah.
a break, we might as well get it done.
So you wanna set it up?
I would say like what, like noon or 1 on Tuesday? You know, everybody?
It's, I'll make myself available.
Yeah, I don't have anything on my schedule at this point for that day, so.
Is Skype allowed? So it's Tuesday,
Sure.
27th?
Tuesday, the 28th,
What time?
noon or 1, anybody care?
Makes no difference to me.
What time is his airport meeting, you said?
10 o'clock.
So noon would be-
One is better.
1? All right, let's do 1.
Where would we like to do it? I can do it in the rec office because there was Wi-Fi in there. I can probably schedule the fire station meeting room for an hour or so.
The rec office here,
The rec office here or the fire station. I think.
which is got more,
I'd say we would probably do it, it would be better at the fire station, I think, just because there's more table, well, not necessarily the tables here too, but it would be more convenient. Yeah. So I will schedule the Arundel Fire Department's meeting room for 1 PM on Tuesday the 28th.
and
At 1 o'clock?
At 1 o'clock, yes.
would you like to alert Howard of this? Or you
Yeah, I will be on the morning.
Just tell him what we want to do at that time period, so he's ready. He has this.
Yes.
and so-
I'd like to do a little more than just review the schedule. Is there any way we can get him to give us a bit of an update on what he's accomplished so far and, you know, where he stands kind of thing?
Certainly.
All right.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
And we're
Progress
ground
report.
bagging it, right?
I will get pizza.
Oh,
Jen, do you make pizza?
I don't.
Arundel House Pizza.
Yeah, all right, I will provide pizza.
Progress report and,
And progress reports, schedule updates,
Schedule.
and any issues that he wants to talk about, and or we want to talk about.
And any tasks he wants to see accomplished.
Yeah, because he's still going to have a hole on,
let's do
and that's it. He's not going to have any holes. That's it.
Well, my other, and I don't know if this is something we discuss when he gets here, I don't know how confirmed the schedule that he's laid out already that's gonna take place till the end.
And this,
Yes,
that's what we want to talk about.
okay. I just wanna state that I'm concerned about the date at the end. I know that the week before school starts,
She's talking about the completion of the entirety.
yeah, I-
School starts, you're not gonna get a lot of.
we're not gonna, yeah, that's the week most people are on vacation. I'm just concerned about it, that's all. And I just want to put that out there, that, I mean, we want the most people that we could possibly get at this meeting.
Is this the town meeting? Like the
Yeah,
big
that
one?
final town meeting,
Or is it in
we have it
August?
tentatively set for August 26th.
I put those dates,
I know.
they said.
Oh, okay.
Those
Well-
those are my dates.
Okay,
The schedule that was on the report on this thing doesn't have dates.
well, I know,
And part of the concern that my personal suggestion to accelerate it is, A, most of the work's going to be done by him, except for the town meeting and the slot.
right,
And if I'm not mistaken, Todd, wouldn't it be very good to get this work done before any of the other planning work that's going to take place in town starts?
Oh, that would be ideal, so that, you know, I was gonna discuss that in item D, actually C, but I can discuss that now, is what we'll run up against. I'm just gonna put everything out there, just describe the process. I am soliciting people for the comprehensive plan committee, and all of these different pieces have to jive. And my problem with accelerating the comprehensive plan process is if we get that process moving prior to Howard's recommendations, I can almost guarantee you that we will go back and redo the comprehensive plan. I think that we can I don't want to rush it. What I was planning to do was to hopefully have a meeting in June with the comprehensive plan committee, because the majority of the members are going to be new. Hand out the comprehensive plan, give a brief overview of what it does for the town, what it is that it needs to do to relate to what we're doing, so that they can get a fairly good understanding of the comprehensive plan that we're currently working with. And then once we have Howard's report, begin working on those portions of the comprehensive plan that need to be revised to make the changes that are going to be proposed happen. So I know it's kind of a convoluted process. I know it's very frustrating that it takes as long as it does, but if we and I had this conversation with a few of the members who want to be on the comprehensive plan, if we take and rewrite the comprehensive plan now, not knowing what Howard's going to recommend, we'll go back and rewrite the comprehensive plan, or everything that Howard says is going to be null and void, and it won't be able to be addressed until the next time the comprehensive plan goes forward.
Which is why I was suggesting that we try to accelerate this as much as we can within.
Right, the comprehensive plan isn't gonna be written anywhere near, I mean, we don't have to worry about it. I mean, this is gonna be done way before they even get close to it, so that's not even we're not waiting for them.
No,
Let's
that's
put it
the
that
point.
way.
We want to lay the foundation for their work by this report and this work. We want that, we want to be embedded in the ground for them to build on us, not the other way around.
Well, I think,
They haven't even formed their committee yet.
I think though Linda has an excellent point, trying to get everything done the last week in August in Maine. Yeah, knocking your head against the wall. I think
I'm just, it's one more week, the week after Labor Day, you know, it's just, I'm just,
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I know he's probably gonna wanna be here in the summer, and I want to have as many people at that meeting as
I'll fess
possible.
up, this is personally, my push to get earlier is personal, because I leave for 2 months on September 2nd. I'm out of the country.
Oh, wow.
Now, that shouldn't change anything, because you guys don't need me for this stuff, but that's why I was pushing.
And I just to inform you all, as I informed Howard, that that last week of July, which isn't a full week and it runs into August, I'll be in Pennsylvania. So I asked him to not schedule anything for that week, because I want to be here for anything that's going on, because I'm going to need to coordinate.
I'm sorry, which week is that?
It's not the last full week of July, it's the week after that. I believe it's the 29th it starts on. Into the 1st of August.
Summer.
And so I've already informed Howard of that. I tried to ask him to give me an idea of when his next trip will be as soon as ahead of time as possible, and he's working on scheduling that, so that will.
The point though is well taken, it is tough to get folks to do much of anything in August. I couldn't agree
I just
more.
want to turn out, that's all.
So if that's the way it works out to work in September, it's fine.
You're gone for how long? 2 months, you said?
I'm on the road in Spain with nothing but boots and a staff and an empty cup and a prohibition.
For how long again? What did you say?
2 months.
Nice.
Good for you. What was that?
You could,
Sit on the cup.
You may want to hold your cup. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Anything else about Howard's trip?
So anything else relating to the project that needs to be brought up? That probably was what you were going to talk about, the comp plan right there, right?
I was going to talk about the comp plan. I fast forwarded myself there.
Good, well, I'm all through then.
Are there any, does the committee have any recommendations of any sector, individual people from any sector of the town that they feel it would be important for Howard to talk to, because I could fill probably 1 or 2 more time slots for Howard, if there's anybody you think that we haven't touched upon that we could.
I know I gave him my brother's business card, who was a natural gas engineer, and I don't believe he's
Oh,
contacted
yeah,
him.
the natural gas.
So,
thing.
I think,
Yeah, earlier.
right, and I don't even know if my brother, I mean, like I said, he's a natural gas engineer, worked for Northern Utilities, he knows what's going on with the natural gas around here. I mean, if there's somebody else, though, that's more qualified, but I really think that's.
What's your brother's first name?
Bruce,
Bruce.
Adore. I think it's somebody in that field he should be talking to.
What he said. But do you mind if I call your brother?
Oh, call.
Can you send me his contact information? Or, okay.
Is anyone in the emergency, like the fire department, medical services, been?
Yep. I'd be more than happy. He could possibly even talk to the sheriff and fire chief.
I think one of our ambulance staff or fire department would have a better grasp. I'm just thinking as far as what they run into
Yeah.
problems, as far as trying to find homes or different communications.
I think you got a good point, because somebody in my travels, trying to find people to be on this committee, one of the things that came up was the fact that somebody wanted to put in, and I don't know if this is true or not, this is just, you get a lot of talk, that elderly housing, somebody wanted to put in so many elderly units, and the impact on our ambulance prevented this from happening. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, it would be less of an impact, I would think, or medical assistance than it would be on school,
Yeah.
on the school system, so, I think that needs to be looked at, if that was actually the logic behind passing that one.
It's a huge financial impact on the positive way, right?
No,
Well,
it's,
no, it
it's a huge
depends
amount.
on a contract and how you set it up for a town.
I would say it is a fairly large drain on resources, but looking at it the way Linda said as well, with no children, I mean, there must be a balance.
There's a balance,
Just how
there's
you
no,
set it
no
up.
trade on the school system, you're just putting it into your medical team, or your EMTs, that's all.
The calls for service in Kennebunk are not just because they have a greater population, but there's a great percentage that go to the assisted living as well.
Yeah.
So, I can definitely set something like that up as well. Good.
Okay, that's it for my, Chesapeake project.
Corner.
That's corner.
Do we have an update on that, or?
I personally took the time and rewrote a proposal for the whole event.
Wow.
And I have made contact with Warner, and he's gonna get together with me.
And he's the Kennebunk Port.
He is, Warner. And he's,
You came to our first
Oh, yeah, the guy.
focus
Yeah.
group that we
Yep.
had regarding,
Yep, I remember, I'm sure, it was here, yeah.
There's a few things. Warner, he works for the town of Greenville, it's a town, is it?
He's the town planner, right?
Right, code
Can we-
planner.
He is the planner,
Planner,
Brian is the
yeah.
officer.
Right, that's right. And,
And what are you trying to accomplish with just?
well, we had a revision presented by Tad, however, none of the lot sizes would help any of them in that situation. So I did the research on all the lot sizes for the area that we had picked out, and then put in the stipulations that we had talked about as far as the siding, the roof, the structure, and put it all within the correct wording.
Wow.
And then he agreed to meet with me and just go over and just see if there's something that it doesn't quite jive.
From his professionals.
Right. Or if there's something that we've missed.
And what's the hope to be done with this?
Well, I'm just gonna wait from the group to find out
What do you hope for
when it
now?
can be presented, or I will personally fund it, to have it go through.
so there's not really any.
Or to have it,
Yes,
town
I'm
meeting.
understanding.
It has to
I'm not
go
expressing my
to,
question.
right, no, it has to go to the town to vote, to have it voted upon.
And you hope to have that done by when?
Well, once Warner figures, we're gonna get together and meet, I was advised by, that we discuss it with Howard and what this group feels when it's necessary.
Who's Howard? Again, this is, The nuts and bolts of making this happen are unknown to me. Is Howard involved in this in any way, or?
I don't believe he would be, but we could bounce it off him for what it's worth. I used to be a code officer. I'm pretty good at reading those kind of things. I would be more than happy to look over it for you if you'd like to give you some input that corners to it. I'll be more than happy to do that if you would like that service.
It was left, with my understanding when we first did it, that, I went over my notes that Tad was going to do that for us. And so, and with everything else going on, so I kind of just took it and did it.
Well, I think it's
So
wonderful, don't I?
That's why,
No, that's
I'm a
great.
baker.
I just didn't want
Dental
to.
assistant for 15 years, so, I just wanted to make sure to have someone look it over, because it was a lot of
No, I
work.
think that's perfect. My
Yeah.
question came about how he's on the road all the time. We're talking about how.
No, I think it was more or less the plan. I really wanted it to get on the agenda for this past voting.
Yeah.
But that's more of a personal issue on my end. So it's just a point of view of like, in my mind, once it's looked at and it's taken care of, then I'll give it to you for the group. If you have a reason why it can't go there, other than that, then I will personally take it on.
And when would the next voting opportunity be?
You can, there can be a special town meeting for, at any time. I mean, we just need to notice it.
Other than a special town meeting, when would the next voting?
Well, the plan was to do everything in one lump sum. Initially, we thought June. There were some sections of the proposed ordinance that took a little longer in the planning board than anticipated. And we are now shooting for the entirety of the ordinances in November. And the planning board is headed in that direction. I believe that they will be able to get everything in order by November for the entirety of the rewrites of the ordinances. The ordinance has been rewritten completely. Tad's done the entire ordinance. It's the review of the planning board that takes a while because they notice things that.
When you say the entire ordinance, you mean just the townhouse corner or all
No,
this
the
as well?
entire land use ordinance is pretty much rewritten.
And how is that dovetailed in with the outcome of what we're doing?
I think that's where the confusion came into place.
And
We
I mean,
were
what-
tasked with the Townhouse Corner District, not the rewrite of all the ordinances.
And when you've been
So-
talking about, you've just been working on the townhouse corner, right? Not the whole town.
No, it took me approximately, I was well over 400 hours to do this.
Oh, my God.
Just the townhouse corner, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Because, I mean, you had to research everyone's lot, make sure I wasn't imposing on any kind of water or misuse of land. You know, there's water lines that I had to make sure that we were going into.
Holy moly.
And I
Like I
think
said,
what
I mean, this is
happened
not my
is,
expertise, I don't get paid for that.
we
So
didn't really
I
actually
just
know
researched
the
all of that.
process of what was supposed to take place. We thought it was our responsibility to bring the town, to bring,
I mean, I baked, we did
Right,
coffee,
right,
I
we did-
went door to door.
we
and
went
asked
through,
all
we
neighbors
talked to
come.
people, and then we thought it was to go, we were under the impression that Townhouse Corner District was something that could be done without having to wait for the planning board to rewrite the whole
Right.
ordinance. The discussion was had, and we were told it could be done. We got all these people all excited about this in that area, and then we said, well, wait, we gotta wait for the rest of the town for the planning board to catch up with us. And
Which I understand that there's certain levels of waiting and under, it's just, however, I would have liked to have that knowledge prior to telling all the neighborhood and getting the excitement going if I had known that was gonna take it.
Can I just backtrack a little bit? Like, how did you end up having to take this on your own in the first place? Like,
Well, personally, and for the record, my business, when we purchased the business, wasn't set up as a residential use. So now I'm at that state after going through recession and everything now, that I need to get a personal loan, a business loan. pavilion. I need to put a new roof on, some siding, and it's not fun. I'm
Right.
non-conforming, I'm in 2 different towns, and it's a nightmare. I just want to get a business loan so that I don't lose the structure of the building.
Yep.
So in order for this to happen, when it was explained to me that our group did not do its job, I went to work
And did it.
and did it.
And you thought it had to be done.
If I may, I want to make it abundantly clear to this group that you are doing your job. And I wish, Jen, I had known you had done all of that work. That is absolutely ridiculously phenomenal. I've never heard of such a thing, spending that much time on something. Is it, and I've dealt with this in a community I've been in before, the zoning, the bank won't allow you to borrow money for either residential or business use because of the zoning that you're classified in. Okay. I didn't realize that.
And there's seven other people that it affects, it's just not me. You know, there's
But
7
then-
other immediate people.
You know, I think that, let me just add, the thing about it is when we started talking about this, it was vague that this was going to happen, that the town planner was on board, the planning
This is
board was on
definitely
board.
This is not an
and let's get
economic
something
development
straight.
group. This is a personal, you know,
Right.
I don't have a conflict of interest, I've been very honest from the, I mean, you know, I put that aside thinking it was being done
Right,
and put my whole heart into this whole, like, let's get everyone into a study, let's, you know, because I mean, we've got a lot of work on our plate right now, you know, we also have jobs and families, and but we want this study to really be successful.
Sure. I'm just confused, like, when we left last time, and we had that meeting, and we talked about what we wanted to be in the new townhouse corner zoning. Tad said he was gonna do it,
And it didn't get done.
But it did get done.
Oh,
but it
It
didn't
did
get done.
get done, but it didn't, the planning board didn't, what somebody said, planning board didn't move as fast as the EDC.
it wasn't brought to the planning board. It wasn't ever put on their agenda because nobody brought it to them.
But I also heard something too about like what Tad put in there didn't,
it was
like
not,
a lot of the businesses, it wouldn't have helped
None of
them
the
because
lots.
the lot sizes
none of the
weren't
lots were
correct. and-
correct.
And the lots,
I don't know the lot sizes out in that area, but
come up.
you may run into an issue with state regulation that we can't make setbacks. I mean, we can't make lot sizes small enough to make those lots. I don't
Well,
know.
That's one of the things that I went to Warner for,
Yeah.
because when I looked in the state, I called the state, told them our situation, you know, told them what we were trying to do, and the advice that I received was to write the plan, and then that they would look at it. So then that's what I was getting the answers on a lot of it. So then I took the time to write up according to all of the lots around, you know, and then before I say to the state, can you look at this, I would like to have someone look at it, and that's when Warner said, okay, I'll look at it.
I think the minimum lot size that you're not on sewer is 20,000 square feet in the state.
He had 40,000 on
He did.
him. Yes. That's why it was brought to our attention, we thought, you know, I was looking.
I mean, I checked off like who has
There's nobody, there wasn't, it was all, I think,
sewer access versus wells, and
And then that's where, and what I'm gonna do for the entire committee, and I don't expect you to have time to read it all, but I'm gonna make a copy of the comprehensive plan for
That would
each.
be
it's
nice.
on there. It's online.
I know, but I'll make you a hard
Yeah.
copy, these kind of things for you.
it's a lot.
Yeah, I'll make an entire copy. If we want to go over the bases of the comprehensive plan at a future meeting, I'll be more than happy to do that. But that's where one of the major issues is that if anyone, planning board, EDC, any board or committee recommends that we have a lot size that doesn't coincide with the comprehensive plan, it's pretty much going to die before it can even move forward, because there's a very large contingent of people in town who will see that it doesn't jive, and that's kind of, I guess, where I didn't explain myself well enough, or I wasn't at enough meetings to
We were
say
told, we
that.
asked about it, and we were
Yeah.
told, we were looking at the size of this townhouse corner district, and we shorted the district up because if we brought, it was too big,
Yeah.
we would have to then do this whole comprehensive plan thing.
Right.
So everybody remembers
Yeah,
that
yeah, I know.
conversation, right? So we
totally
shorted, yeah, we kept the area smaller
Oh.
so that it wouldn't affect this, and we could do this without rewriting the comprehensive plan.
That's right.
Those are the words that were told us.
Yes.
That is true.
And we also stated at that time that we had to really be careful because our plate was getting quite full.
Yeah.
That, you know, that we wanted to address certain things, but at the same time,
Just this study is an undertaking for a volunteer
Right.
committee that, I mean, I want to just reiterate that you guys are busting your butts.
Well, just so that you know, if
But
this
the budget
EDC is,
exists.
I mean, right, yeah, and I'm with Jen, and I'm gonna support her and help her any way we can. Whether the EDC does it or not, we're going forward with this. I don't care if we have to do it personally, because now it's personal.
that's why I meant, if I
And-
have to do it personally, because
Because we would have started that a year ago had we not been told that this was gonna happen,
Right.
because they can call it a conflict of interest, but we have something personal at stake. And you knew that when we came on the committee.
But, I mean, but that's a
It's-
whole nother subject, so I just, if, as far as like that's where we are with the townhouse. That's, you know, that's where we're at.
Technically, we don't know where we are with the townhouse, because we really thought we knew what we were doing, we had the process, what needed to get done, and now we're being told something else.
So are we being told now that we can't put this up?
I'm
for-
not sure.
What
So,
committee?
because basically, if you're gonna tell us that we've done all this, and it can't be done because of the comprehensive plan,
What are we being told? I'm not sure I'm hearing anything we're being
Right.
told.
No, I just think that, forgive me, I think that the comprehensive plan could possibly be ready for November, which at that time, the
comprehensive
townhouse.
plan will not be ready till for November, I'll tell you right now.
Just one.
They're not even, the committees, and,
We'd be
and,
rewriting it though.
and one of the members already told me they weren't even gonna start until September.
I talked to that member after, so that has changed.
But I have to be honest with you, at this point, I think, because it is a personal thing, I'm more leaning towards going for the special town meeting,
I can give you all the information you need on doing that.
because it's a financial strain that I don't think I can wait until
Then-
comprehensive is done.
My only recommendation is for the credibility of the EDC, when we discuss Townhouse Corner, other than your personal issue, I would not vote on any matters. I just don't want you to,
Well, I think
There's
that's what got
conflict of
difficult
interest
for us.
established,
In the
so-
beginning, we said, we didn't think this was an EDC thing.
Well, we haven't been we've been completely honest with our stance of how we, you know,
Yeah, because
and,
we didn't think
and
this
we
was
haven't
an
really
easy
voted
project.
anything. The only thing we've done was bring people to the meetings.
Yeah.
So it's like, and when you say vote, what is it that we're gonna vote on? We're not a part of the planning board, we're not a part of the board of selectmen, what are we voting on?
well, if the
We've never voted on
EDC
anything.
If the
Our
EDC,
function, when we got pulled in on the townhouse corner, was strictly to assist the planning board, because they were getting way behind with the
That's,
comprehensive
and,
planning board.
right.
And that's when we were kind of like, wait, we're getting a lot of stuff.
Well,
done.
and we did it, and the thing is, Jen and I personally didn't go forward with what we needed to do because we thought it
Because
was,
it wasn't
yeah, we were under the impression the whole time that this was
Oh, I
gonna happen because the
understand.
planners wanted it and the
Yeah.
planning board wanted it.
It does, I meant to point out, the townhouse district and how it's resolved for the benefit of the businesses there does impact, and is impacted by the work we're doing on this work here.
Oh, I
Development
agree,
plan.
I agree,
mean,
but I think
so-
it's.
So it should be part of it's not incorrect to have it to be part of the work that this committee is doing.
my statement was going to be, Sam, that this board may decide to make a recommendation to the planning board, because that is part of the duties, is to promote economic growth.
Right.
And so if the EDC were to make the recommendation that either the new ordinances get passed en masse, or if there's a, section that the EDC feels strongly about, that's the only reason that I brought that up. is-
We just refrained from making that recommendation, everybody makes it but us. That's
That's
understandable.
all I'm
So,
asking.
so, just to be clear, that path then of this committee making a recommendation like that with high importance or high urgency or something, because of circumstances, blah, 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 to the planning board in the town would be in order.
To consider a plan that
to consider whatever it is that's gonna be needed to be done to make the townhouse district work.
Right.
Would you mind clarifying for me what the order is that these things go in between the recommendation on the townhouse corner, the overall rewrite of the land use ordinance, and the comprehensive plan? What's gotta come before what here?
What has to come first is this,
Okay.
Yes.
then the comprehensive plan, then the land use ordinance rewrite. Because from this, I think we're gonna get some invaluable information that will assist the comprehensive plan in what we need to do to move forward.
Okay.
And then the comprehensive plan has to have language in it that supports the language in the land use ordinance change.
Okay. Understood. Now, is there any way that Jen can push this townhouse corner through on its own at a special election? And is that all gonna be legal and on the up and up without going through the land use ordinance and the comp plan and whatever else?
Yeah, if the changes that she's proposing, if as an individual citizen, you came to the town of Arundel and said, I want the zoning changed, which Bentley Saloon has done in the past.
Okay.
You go to the town, you recommend an ordinance that you put 400 hours into researching, God bless your soul. And then, if it is deemed to be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, you have a better chance of getting it passed. You can go to a special town meeting with an ordinance that's not supported by the comprehensive plan, but that can be challenged by the state of Maine, that can be challenged by the state planning office, because the way I sum it up is that the comprehensive plan is specifically vague. It doesn't say anything specific, it gives you an idea. And then the land use ordinances are vaguely specific because you don't want to only allow X, Y, and Z in a certain zone. And so if a resident came to the town, the review process would be, they have to look at the comprehensive plan to make sure that it supports what is being proposed for the zoning change.
Okay, now, if you were to look at Jen's proposal, would you be in a position to make any comments in the margins as to anything which might conflict with the comprehensive plan, so that she could kind of get it right the first time before she pays for a special election?
I wouldn't do it as the town manager, but I would do it on my own time.
Right.
So
So what is the process that she would need to go
I'd have to
through?
get that process to her. I don't know it off the top of my head, and I don't have a copy of the town charter and all the ordinances, but it's very specifically spelled out in the ordinances, how she was about doing that.
So first things first, we need the rewrite of the ordinance, right, completed, pretty much. And then after that, it can be presented or whatever.
Well, again, just go back to what role the EDC plays in the process of making this happen. There is a role, I think.
I'm not sure that there is.
I don't think in Jen's
Other
process.
than if we were to make a recommendation, just to give Jen some moral support, if we were to recommend to whoever would be the planning board or the comp plan committee, that they incorporate this as a part of their overall rewrite.
I will.
But she doesn't want to wait till November, which
No,
is.
no,
Right,
no,
but I don't
no,
think
no,
it's
no.
anything to do with the
We're
group. That's
we're
why
doing
we
this
were
next
very-
week or so.
Yeah, this is just like Bentley's did. I believe it was before I got here, maybe 3 years ago, where they did an ordinance rewrite. But I won't be back in the office. I have meetings in the morning in Portland, Jen. I'll email you that process when I get back to probably around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock tomorrow. I'll
Okay.
email you what you need to do as an individual, not as a member of the group, to move forward with that.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
Thanks.
Anything else on it? I'm sorry.
So does the process, independent of Jen's situation, make sense to everybody? The way that I explained it, the way each document would lead into the other. And that's been my skepticism from day one in discussing with people who want to rewrite the comp plan, is that it's an awful lot of work to go through to not know what the recommendations are going to be that are paid for.
That's what I meant. This is the foundation.
That is the foundation by which the comprehensive plan can be making recommendations for the future of the town.
And this is kind of semi-question, semi-comment. Nothing that is, to generalize, Jen, what you're coming up with, there's nothing that's likely to be contrary to what we could anticipate for recommendations. from-
Exactly. It would just support it.
Good. All right, well,
We gotta take it to dinner.
Any other questions on that matter?
it's all right to do that.
Next item is EDC governance and composition.
Yep. And what is that, what is that pertaining to specifically, what we're here to do? Are we looking at the bylaws, is that why they're printed here?
I just gave bylaws to know what we, after this study is done.
Obviously, somebody put this on the agenda.
I did,
and-
yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure, we stayed on task. I anticipated the possibility of a conversation as to the makeup of any future members that are added to the board. That's what I consider composition. I'm happy to have that conversation if we'd like.
Well, that's why I suggested you go on there, was that we do need, in my humble opinion, we need a secretary desperately. We probably could do with some additional players, not to make the committee huge, don't misunderstand me. This is a highly functioning, very active, energetic committee. And it probably should stay that way as far as I think most of us feel. But we've all talked about, we might use another two people, another one or two folks on. I mean, Jeff is gone, right?
Yes.
So he's gone anyway.
So we need somebody with experience in banking and finance.
Well,
That was a...
that was a little bit, I need.
I do have...
We have one of each here, so.
I do have an individual that I don't want to name on the record at this point in time that's moving back to Arundel, that was going to be one of the inaugural members of the EDC. Yes, and so when his house has been completed, that's one of the first conversations I have planning to have with him. So there is one member there. We are 6 members. There's no one missing this evening. I'm counting correctly.
4, 5, 6, yes.
So we can have up to 5 more members. That's kind of a large group. That gets difficult to coordinate schedules.
1 or 2.
Okay, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And one of them, I think, the one I'm speaking of, I think is very strong. Could have.
He was on,
Yeah, he was on the Chamber of Commerce as a member of the Board of Directors, and he, as I said, was an inaugural member, but he moved away before we could start meeting. So I'm going to speak to him. If anybody has any recommendations or comments, you can feel free to email me. We're looking for, we have the banking and finance experience. We never have too much, in my opinion. A member with management and or strategic planning experience. I would say Sally has strategic planning experience, having heard her extensive resume. Hospitality and tourism. I would consider Jen to be a hospitable person.
I don't.
Have a lack of real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah, I think we need to
broker.
go a little heavier into that.
Yeah, and there's just been one. Are you familiar with a few real estate brokers in town? That
Yeah, one that hasn't been to jail.
Let's not be judging.
We've got a business owner.
You're on camera here now,
So,
watch out.
yes, I'd be more than happy to try to seek out some real estate brokers or developers. There's actually a few developers in town as well
Right.
that I can think of that live in town that may have spare time. If any, a lawyer. I
Lawyer,
know a couple of lawyers that live in town.
real estate lawyer would be a good.
Real estate lawyer would be a wonderful thing. I don't know if we have any of those that live in town, but
I know one.
oh, yes, not too far from you.
Not too far from
If anybody would be willing to, rack their brains, if you see a lot of people throughout the community and you talk to a lot of people, send it to me and I'll make the contact. I'll reach out to the people and I'll try to do my best to, get them on board and nurture them to become productive members of this committee. And we won't tell them that they're going to be elected secretary when they first Chosen.
I'm assuming we're gonna be writing our minutes based on your review of the video, so does that mean you're gonna be doing the minutes?
Oh, for the next meeting?
Why for this, no, for,
Well, basically what.
who's gonna do the minutes for this meeting?
I can do the minutes.
Thank you.
Well,
And what he was saying though is all he's gonna do is do what we voted on, who
Yeah,
voted
that-
for
you
what,
know.
and then you can pull whatever you want off the
Right,
camera,
right.
so
That's
the
fine.
minutes will be brief.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Which,
Statutory requirement is who was in attendance, who made a motion, who seconded the motion, what the vote was. That is the.
yeah, it's on camera, anybody can see it. The other, I would like to also suggest, and I, as the second newest member of this group, Sally, you might want to, as the newest, you might want to comment on it. I think we ought to have a welcome package for people. We need historical documents, like, I'm told they're online, but that's tough to get and tough to read. Whatever the foundational documents are of the economic development and planning for this town should be made available in a package to people. The people who come in should be given a chance to know who we are and who they are. Everybody doesn't know everybody. There should be some sort of an introductory session, a briefing session, and also a historical catch-up. Because a lot's happened, and you don't want to tell everything to everyone, but people ought to know what the issues are, what's been going on. So,
Lamb, are you talking about the new members of this committee?
yeah.
What line are you looking at?
I mean, I came in, I sat down, and the first thing someone asked me is, who are you going to vote for?
Yeah.
I didn't even know the hell who these people, who you were.
Right.
And you haven't stopped running since, Sam.
And I asked for the documents, and they're coming.
I will-
But they never came.
I will produce for each current member of the board, like I said, I will give you a copy of the comprehensive plan, I'll give you a copy of the land use ordinances, I'll give you a copy of the town charter, put them in a binder.
Do you want a copy of my buyouts? Just like that, just so everyone can know who we
I have
are.
a copy of your buyout.
Well, you must have copies of all of our volunteer applications.
And in historical reference, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna provide you with a report that I'm not allowed to speak of, because the mere name of it creates hate and discontent. But I'm gonna give you a little plan that was created several years ago.
That's online too.
It is, and I'll give you all copies of that stuff, and
I think
you'll
I
start
put it
to
on
paint a
the
picture.
And
Just about everything you mentioned, Todd, is online.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you have a point about having it in hard copy, but does everybody really want this in hard copy?
I don't, I mean, I got it
I
on
know,
here.
right.
Does anybody want it
I
in
got
hard
enough.
copy? Sam, Jen, Sally, Ira, and
If
two
it's
on the
on-
ends will read it online.
If it's online, that works for me, because
That's
I'm big on coloring stuff, so I can.
I will certainly.
you can highlight it on the computer too.
If everybody wants,
Highlight on the computer.
everybody's accepting of the fact, I will take all of your EDC applications and I can hand them out to the group so everybody knows a little bit about everybody else.
Good. But it just will make, as we bring folks in, it'll make their introduction a lot easier.
Now, under this same topic, I'd like to have a conversation about meeting dates and times. Arbitrarily, the second Tuesday of the month was pulled out of the air and it works. If I'm going to be attending the meeting, I would prefer not to have the second. I would rather have the third week of a month or the fourth, the first week of a month or the third week of a month, because during budget season, I end up having to, good night, thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
She's like this. The first week of the month and
Don't
the
forget to
third,
do your survey.
Oh, I will.
first and third weeks of the month are best for me, especially during budget season, because the second and fourth week I have selectmen and I also have budget board. And so if the members are available, when we reschedule, I would like to schedule the next meeting this evening. I will send an agenda for the lunch meeting, because technically that's a meeting with the EDC, if the majority of the people show up, and it's just gonna be a workshop meeting.
I was gonna say, so people can show, general public can show up?
They can if they like. But
They're on the pizza.
anybody absolutely, is there anybody that absolutely cannot meet during the first or third week of the month.
I don't think it would matter for me
Doesn't matter.
personally.
All right, Tuesday's good for everybody.
Tuesdays is good.
Okay?
Tuesdays are fine, I have a problem on Wednesday.
I have a problem on Thursday.
Okay.
Tuesday's great.
All right, we'll stick to Tuesday.
So we're moving
The
these
last
to the
time we
east.
got together in the conference room over there, we were talking about possibly meeting twice a month instead of once.
Yes, we were.
Is that-
Temporarily,
Temporarily.
temporarily.
Also a possibility, if you want, calendar of
We could do the first and third Tuesday in June, I guess. Well, let me see what these dates are.
That's what I'm going to look for now.
Yeah,
So the
I-
first
my
Tuesday
calendar
of
whole
June
life.
is the 4th.
Yeah, that's my anniversary.
Yeah. So
You're
you
gonna
should
miss
be.
that one. You're missing that
I'll
one.
send Kristen flower. All right, so the 4th won't work.
Well,
We could do the 11th, and just knowing that we're gonna change it, it gets,
We go up to our anniversary because our son's birthday is partly that
You know,
weekend.
the vice chair could take over for you on that night.
I can take over.
Make a
That's
comment,
fine.
We might want to hold this until we have figured.
We can have a meeting on
Howard-
my anniversary with my
schedule's gonna be,
husband,
because
because that's the
A lot of the next step after this will be Howard's work.
Yep.
Phase 2 is Howard's work. He then has to come with us with the SWOT presentation, that's phase 3, which is targeted in here at the end of June. So it's, I mean, unless that date gets moved,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of Chesapeake group activity for us to do.
Would you like to meet on the 18th?
Or could we do Monday, June 3rd?
But I'm saying you may not need to meet in June.
Right.
That's what earlier than twice a week, sorry,
Yeah.
twice a month. We may not
Okay.
need to do it until we know what Howard's, sorry, revised schedule is.
The
Okay.
18th is just over a month from now. If we want to tentatively schedule the meeting for then, and I find out there's going to be a considerable workload coming from Howard prior to his arrival, then we could revisit this idea.
I can do the 18th.
You can? Ring a bell for you, isn't it?
Well, my anniversary is the 19th. Not that that matters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you recall, phase 3 is the SWOT work,
Yes.
which is a
Second
really
row.
critical part of this job. He's supposed to come to us with a presentation that he's developed. He reviews it with us, the
Correct.
EDC.
Correct.
And the next step is then we take that to the town,
Correct.
or to the selectmen, the planning and zoning, blah, 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 strategic planning, comp plan, any other group that needs to be reviewing and go through the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats discussion.
Absolutely.
That's critical. And so if he says he can get it done June 3rd, then that may, I don't know.
That'll change this.
That'll change things.
Yeah, but if tentatively, if we'd say June 18th at 6, I like these 6 o'clock meetings, they're pretty nice. And then, should anything change, I'll let you know well ahead of time. I'm hoping that your phone's dying, Sally, over there.
I've got it plugged
Why you're
in.
hiding from?
She's got it plugged in, that's why she's.
So June 18th, we're not going to meet on the 4th at this point in time, okay? So at the next meeting, will we make a determination whether we're going to meet twice a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice a month.
Or,
Twice a month?
Twice a week.
No, you already got me committed to twice a week to the Chamber of Commerce.
or if Howard comes in, if Howard comes to us, when we meet with him on the 28th, and if the project schedule is accelerated for any reason, that may change our next meeting date. So
That's fine.
we may have to meet earlier, then it's flexible.
You can say something, Sally.
Are all the meetings here?
Yes, they are going to be here. If there's a conflict with this room, it'll be in the conference room. If there is
The
a
conference are
conference room here, yeah, it's right around the corner. If there isn't a heavy workload from Howard for the next EDC meeting, I would recommend that we invite Suzanne from the Chamber of Commerce. They really, really would like to get to know the EDC and try to start fostering a relationship.
She might be one to be involved. She's experienced in this type of thing, and she said she wanted to be involved. I don't know if she can be a full-time committee member, if that's possible.
No, she can't be a member because her business isn't in town and she doesn't. But she.
But she would,
And so I might invite her to come to
Be
the
an
meeting.
observer.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is what-
The 16th.
What was it?
Sweet.
Father's Day is the 16th.
She's just saying.
Just in case anyone's gonna be out of town.
Fathers don't get to take out of town on vacation for Father's Day. We get a tie.
They come to us with stuff.
I had a customer come in today and say, "Not my husband, I'm for Mother's Day." That's
No, you're
Any
right.
other-
Get one big one, that's good.
The other,
Anything else on governance and composition?
I would be more than happy to also throw out the idea of, you know, getting to know each other, possibly have a meeting that we advertise as a retreat to, you know, mingle and not have to do work. If the group wants to get familiar with each other, that would be a recommendation.
Would a 45-minute drive be too far? I'd like to have you guys all up to the house.
It wouldn't be too far going, but it might be a lot.
Hey,
Are we gonna get escorted?
Yeah.
You can rent a limo,
I'm a non-drinker.
There you go.
Hey, we got a
I'm
TV
the
right here.
Right?
and I got a big enough vehicle for all of us, so.
We're in.
Just throwing that out there, I'll look at some ideas, I'll have to chat with Ira, and we'll see if we can do something like that.
Spouses or just members?
What was that question?
Spouses.
Well, I think
members.
spot- I
Oh,
mean,
no, spouses would be
spouses?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that works.
that would be great. I'd love to meet everybody's significant other if they want to bring.
Well, next time we're having a barbecue, I'll yell out back and have you come
I
on.
I have actually, only one time though, actually, only one, very briefly.
Any other conversations on governance and composition from any of the members?
Ira, what were you thinking of 45 minutes away?
My lake house.
Oh.
Yeah, well, my parents' lake house technically, not one of me thinking anybody that I actually own lakefront property. But,
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
but I pretty much, I take care of it all. They don't go up there much anymore, so my sister and I split time up there.
Good.
It's on Square Pond in Shapley.
Oh, so,
Yep, right at 109.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
far.
it's on, it's an easy.
Get the alley up there.
Yeah?
It's on an island, you take a little pontoon boat out,
Yeah.
do a little grilling.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. I'll chuck a
All right.
burger down and almost choke.
I'll buy a fire. I'll buy a fire.
Any other governance and composition that anyone would like to discuss at this point in time?
As far as I'm concerned, anybody? Uh-oh. Lynn's got something.
I'm good.
All four
Yeah,
heads.
we should be able to do the executive session thing tonight since nobody is here. Alright, so let's keep moving on. So, are there any new business? Well, first of all, are we all set with the
Oh,
governance?
yes, we're all set with that, I guess. I don't know if this falls under new business. The Rundle Historical Society is planning a family farm days.
Really?
They are, and they want all organizations, yeah, to have a member all.
Tomorrow.
Family Farm Days tomorrow?
No, tomorrow night is
They
a
wanna-
meeting to start the
Right, they
discussion.
want to start discussion.
Sure.
Because what they want to do is they want all, like, the committees in the town to be involved on, you know, some level. You know, whether it be a Rundle Rec, or Boy Scouts, you know. So they're just trying to plan this.
Is there gonna be a parade?
I have no idea what they're planning. They got all kinds of ideas. This is ideas now. This is brainstorming when, what.
Family farm days.
I'm gonna plan on, I can tell my husband, I'm gonna plan on attendance tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here, if anybody else wants to go. I know everybody's busy, I can go, but,
Tomorrow night at 7.
Tomorrow night
Uh-huh.
is right here. Here?
and then the other thing, when I first started on this committee, the very first meeting that I went to was a meeting of the committees. You had selectmen, planning board, rec. We all got together and we all got on the same page, and it was supposed to be a quarterly meeting.
Yeah, and it didn't happen quarterly, and they are going to be.
Was it yearly?
every quarter of a decade or so.
Quarter of a decade?
Just talking, you know.
Well, I just think it's important for us to be on the same, I mean, it wasn't just a representative. It was everybody, and it was kind of nice to, you know, one, get to know the members other committee members.
I think it's great.
And
Where do you
and to-
find a room big enough to do
They
that?
did it right here.
We put all the tables we could find together, and we didn't, I mean, there wasn't a huge turnout, but unfortunately, it kind of reverted back to old wounds, but.
Well, no, but I mean, it opened up a lot of things that,
And-
Because a lot of things that we've gone to the different committees,
Yeah.
to be quite honest with you, we were kind of, presented with that there might be a confrontation, and it's been completely the opposite,
Yeah.
very open,
Everybody's-
very.
oh, I
The
can't, yeah.
Strategic
absolutely.
Planning Committee, and Dana's no longer going to be on the Board of Selectmen, but the Strategic Planning Committee had discussed, now that the EDC is up and running, to possibly take on that role in town to have quarterly summits, I guess you call it, and get all the boards and committees together, just to let each, and not to direct anyone to do anything, but let each board and committee know what's going on, what direction they're heading in, and I will begin to organize those meetings again through the Strategic Planning Committee, getting there.
So we have a comp plan committee, a strategic planning
Yes.
committee, an EDC committee, we have,
Budget board, we have planning board, we have board of selectmen, we
well, I
have
know that. yeah.
board of appeals.
You've got this all figured out, right? So how things work together.
Something I'll explain it to you, Sam.
I'd love to.
Well, I think that's, the other thing is us not really understanding too much how the governance works.
What about the zip code?
Zip code, we had a survey online. As of today, there were 58 responses, 68% in favor. I have heard back from Senator King's office as well as Senator Collins' office. Tad and I are writing a letter, I'm writing a letter for the selectmen to sign, and then with all the supporting documentation that we have to send to the United States Postal Service to request a zip code change. And what it takes is they do a review of the cost to the Postal Service. They do their own independent study of the residents to see if they're in favor of doing it. But the ball is rolling. Discussed it with the selectmen on Monday.
So it is possible to have a zip code without
Yeah,
a
it is possible to have a
post
zip
office.
code without a post office.
Yes.
super.
And one of the things I'm going to harp on is in today's technological world, you Google or Rumble and you don't get anything. And so that is definitely detrimental to business. So we're going to try to, I will draft something and present it to the EDC unless the EDC members want to draft something and present it to me, but we're going to, all committees will be involved prior to that letter being sent to the Postal Service.
I just came up with, do you think that would it help us in any way if, I'm just thinking, I don't know,
We can address, yeah, because there are, we're at the same zip code, we do deal with the
like
similar
FEMA or
named
something,
roads. We'll try
might
to
help our support to try to get that pushed through.
But we'll certainly explore all avenues as we go forward. Bonnie Pothier, who I've known since I was a little kid, is one of Senator King's satellite office people. So we've been working pretty closely on that. She's trying to give me all the information. She's trying to find me successful requests for zip code changes so that we can try to kind of copy what they've done. So as soon as I have information, I'll send it on to you and we'll start getting something taken care of.
Okay.
But we are moving on that.
I was gonna say real briefly, I was told on Thursday that I needed to put a report together for what we've done so far, and it had to be in Friday at noon. So I basically was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So basically Tad offered to write it and then send it over to me to review and for signatures and so forth. So he did write a report of basically what we've been doing for the last year, I guess it has been at this point. I did make a few changes and added a paragraph or two, but other than that, it has been submitted. I wanted to get your all's input, but really wasn't time.
Who's this for?
The town report book.
Oh,
So the town meeting report book.
So I apologize for not coming to you guys, but it just,
Special thanks to John.
full
Bell.
faith and confidence.
Cover photo.
Yeah, what's going on the cover?
It's a very nice picture of his wife walking the dogs down the Eastern Trail.
Nice.
That I found online and pilfered from John once before, and this time I asked if I could use it. But yes, that was for the town report book. Amazing 18th, which is
I
the
want
town
the
meeting.
trolley museum on next year's town report,
Okay.
please.
All right, take a very nice
Walk your
picture.
dogs over there.
I was gonna say, is it online, or can I email it out to everybody to read?
You
or-
can email it to everybody, yeah, it's not online yet,
All right.
and we did use the signed copy, I wrote.
Oh, okay.
So,
New business, and I'm not sure it's appropriate here, but I remember at the last board, so one of the board of selectmen's meetings, there was some discussion about the Eastern Trail parking lot.
yep, we're working on that with the resident in question who owns the property to try to negotiate something to
So it's moving.
allow for parking.
It's moving.
Under new business as well, if I may, Kate's Butter is up, moving rather quickly now. They're making some wonderful progress over there on Route 111. Last I spoke to Chris Patry, the son, or one of the owners, they were hoping to be in by September. So I'm hopeful that they will reach that goal. They've got a lot of work ahead of them, but they're moving ahead very nicely on Route 111. As stated, there's a new business that'll be coming in next door to Arundel Market. I'm not at liberty to divulge that yet, because I don't think she wants me to tell you. There was I don't know what the state did, but there was another agency liquor store request for C.N. Brown on Route 1.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen the results of the state's decision on issuing that liquor license to them, but that's proposed.
Is there a building already there with a store in it that has requested it?
Yep, the little gas station right there.
Little gas station,
Gas
yeah.
station.
See it around the gas station?
Yeah, on the right,
Right next to Maddie's.
where Mandy's used to be.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to miss anything, there's I'll skip that one. No, there's a new, where the Trade Winds Cafe used to be, there's a new establishment there called Rundle's Sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's spelled seafood.
Yeah.
Is it? And
Oh, is that right at the
really
corner of Lock
interesting business opportunities here in Arundel, but I'm not gonna share those yet, I'm allowed to divulge them. That's my new business.
Can I follow up on what you're saying? Because, you know, it occurs to me that we as this committee should be celebrating businesses that come in, like Kate's, for
There's
instance.
a very,
And by that, I mean, if I might just, perhaps we could ask them to one of our meetings, or perhaps have a meeting at their place, so they could show it to us, have a reporter there. You know, it's free advertisement for them, it helps us, it helps our image with the business. Where's Motor with their new opening?
Right, no, I can probably give a brief about what, really, that's a chamber work, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we
now
already-
that I'm on the board,
Which one, that's the chamber of Kennybunk Fork.
Arundel, right.
Just call Kennybunk Pork.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just an idea that if we're
Yeah.
trying to promote Arundel, that we should be, that this, whether it's this committee or something, but it should be somehow tied in.
I agree with Sam that we perhaps ought to do something, but I certainly wouldn't invite them to one of our meetings.
Well,
That reminds me of the old joke about the.
They're more like
you know,
torture,
contest
isn't
where
it?
the first prize was. a
Well, I
week
would
in
suggest-
Philadelphia, The second prize was 2 weeks.
I wasn't really thinking of doing a meeting, just as Chrissy feels, right?
Chris Patry and I have already had a conversation that there's been some issues there. When they're ready to begin operations, I've already discussed a media event, I've already discussed a ribbon cutting at the location, and where I'm not sure when they open, they'll be members of the Chamber of Commerce. I would recommend that the EDC do just that, and we just, publicize when the new business opens on Route 1. Next time I see Rainey, I will talk to her and see if she wants to do something like that to try to, promote economic development.
I mean, where's this opening a big deal? I know the chamber's gonna do their thing, but Arundel Motors.
or make sure, that the EDC is present when the chamber does their thing.
Yeah, so that's
You know what I
fine.
mean? I think
That's fine.
representation, but I think that would be a little easier than staging our
Well,
own.
my real thrust was we need to promote, Arundel needs to promote
Well,
successful.
which brings me into this Chamber of Commerce thing, which is, I'm on the committee for the marketing and branding and the website, and the whole idea is to tie Arundel into the chamber, because it's really known as the Kennybunks. So, just to let you know that they are working on it, they are,
I like her.
hmm?
I like her.
You like her? Who's Susan?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
She said, you did.
Yeah, no, no,
Because
she-
you're on the website now, and Arundel has about 2 lines.
yeah, that's going to change.
She's the new
so.
director.
She's the new
This
director.
thing that your mother is organizing tomorrow night, Linda, is that to promote the Rumble, or just
It's-
what's the?
Right, it's a Arundel Farm Days thing, they wanna have something over where the fields are, where they're gonna be putting the, they're looking for, different communities to do different things.
Promoting community.
Promoting community, basically, that's it, yeah.
Because that sounds like the kind of thing that we ought to be getting involved in.
Oh, absolutely, we should definitely be involved. At what level, I recommended, and I don't know, we had talked about something else different, but, having a road race the day that they do that. No, I said,
Oh, about having a road.
like the EDC could be, that could be their contribution to,
Of course.
everybody, the Boy Scouts would do their thing.
So is it okay if other people come tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
And that was 7 o'clock here.
yeah.
And the last new business piece is I stumbled across a wonderful pickle maker that lives somewhere near you, I think, Sam.
Really?
Homemade pickles from Arundel. That
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head the name of it, but my mother had these pickled green beans at her house that were just, I said, where'd those come from? She said, the Downing Road in Kent.
Really?
Do you know of them?
What is that,
I
Downing Road?
knew what I was
Stark?
talking
No,
about.
I would love to sell them at the store.
Yeah, let me, I'll get the label and find the person and see if they're interested, because they were delicious.
You know what's funny? I think I saw them out at the Acton Fair last year.
I wouldn't doubt it, because my
And
mom
she's
got
like, we
me
live
some
in, we're in
here.
Arundel, and I'm like, where? She was trying to explain to me, and like, I live there, I have no idea what you're talking about, so.
So,
Because I don't know the name of any of the roads or whatever, but.
You need to go on tour. Take you to Arundel.
any other new business?
Just one quickie, would you have any objection if I clean up the bulk mailing list on the website?
Not at all.
It's getting to be a mess. We've got an awful lot of people over the course of the last 3 months, submitted their name and then never verified it.
Oh,
Okay,
I
that's
think
too
we ought to
bad.
clean it up and get those.
All right?
Can we send it out again or no?
And we have to email them individually and remind them that this time that they need to validate. We can't just click on it. I haven't found a way to cut and paste those.
I've already set up a separate database of the people who haven't verified, which I've got, I can email that to you.
How many people you think you got on that list?
About 50.
Oh,
There's
that's heartbreaking.
85 validated email addresses.
That's it?
Just got, I had one final thing which just happened to pop up as I was going through emails today. It's from Julie Feingold. Remember the woman who wrote to Tad and asked for the gallery down
Yep.
by
Yeah, she's
you
one of
guys?
the meetings.
I know she is.
Oh.
Has anything happened with her request?
That I'm not sure of, but I can report it.
It's part of the THC district.
I know it is, yeah. She's talking about opening up a gallery.
We changed
Tourist
the name?
season is coming. I just, not carrying water for her, but I just happened to see it.
Nope, absolutely, let me check.
I don't think she's even gonna be here until sometime this month, because they're part-time residents.
Okay, I just didn't want to lost.
We should.
Hey, Linda, I'm
Just trust me.
sorry, I'm not sure which list you're talking about. The actual bulk mail list, which has verified addresses, was about 110. But we have about 50 which never got
So we have
verified.
110 email addresses
That are
for
good,
the town that are good. And we have another 50 that,
that are no good.
Have a
Another
verified.
50 that
But
came
never
in
got
with
verified.
whoopie pie.
They were free.
if you give us your
Well,
email.
under the premise that if you give us your email address, you
Get
can
that
have
pinged
whoopie
again?
pie.
That's,
A lot of them have. I know Todd sent out another notice probably about a month ago, which was responsible for a serious uptick in the number that we got, but we still have an awful lot which just never did get verified.
Any other new business? Any motions in order?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Order.
Can I send you a little list of things to bring up?